You join us now as we encounter the fabled gluggermuffin, one of the numerous species native to this planet. While ultimately an omnivore, this species feasts from the local flora. They are particularly social creatures, tending to their young as well as socially interacting with their neighbours. Most spend their time wandering their local habitat in search of food and company, sometimes even seen enjoying themselves near the spice geysers that populate this planet. Yes, life is very calm and enjoyable for these creatures. They have no worries, no wants, and no... Oh dear. Well, it appears the gluggermuffin has been savaged by local willow-womps. Such a tragedy. Anyway, back to the Retro Today video.
Spore was an evolution simulator developed by Maxis and published by EA. Released in 2008, the game was the brainchild of legendary game designer Will Wright, known for his previous titles such as SimCity and The Sims. Spore aimed to take players on an epic journey, starting from a single-celled organism and guiding them through various evolutionary stages, ultimately leading to space exploration and colonization. Will Wright and Maxis set out to create a vast and open galaxy for players to fill with their creations, as well as incorporate other creatures and objects from other creators, letting you determine the path for your species on its quest to the stars. Will Wright envisioned Spore as a blend of multiple game genres, from simulation to strategy to action and exploration. The game's development spanned over 8 years, with ambitious goals to incorporate procedural generation of environments, enabling players to create virtually limitless possibilities. The original concept for Spore was to have a toy galaxy you could fly around and explore, which eventually developed into the idea of having an evolutionary focus of guiding a particular species to that exploration stage. Throughout its development, Will Wright demonstrated the advanced tools on offer, including the creature creator, planetary terraforming, and the ability to seamlessly incorporate other players' creations into your world, to also showcasing various stages that the player would go through with their creatures. All this culminating into a sophisticated set of tools and gameplay elements that would allow the player to have near limitless creativity with the experiences within their own galaxy. However, as development rolled on and the release date drew nearer, there were many aspects of the game that were changed or removed entirely, leading to a far more simplified version of the game to be released. In this video, I'll be analysing each stage, the tools on offer, the experiences you can have, and the overall gameplay of Spore, its legacy, its controversies, and the history behind it all. The game begins with the cell stage. In this stage, players control a microscopic organism navigating through the ocean floor, represented as a 2D plane. The goal is to consume food and other cells to gain DNA points for you to grow and evolve. Avoiding predators and competing for resources presents challenges, and the player will be presented with opportunities to adapt their creature to the challenges they face. Through mating, you can edit your creature to add and remove various parts, which will help you better adapt to your situation. This could be things such as adding offensive or defensive capabilities to yourself with spikes, poison, or electricity, or it could be that you could fare better by improving the maneuverability of your cell by adding various parts that increase your speed or improve your turning. This is also where you get to decide which path your creature will take in later stages, as there are 3 possible paths for you to take during the stage. In this section, your 3 options are either herbivore, omnivore, or carnivore, each offering different benefits to your species the further you go in any particular direction. Herbivore providing a path representing a more friendly, peaceful gameplay experience, whereas carnivore offers the opposite, focused on combat and strength, and omnivore offering a balance between the two. These 3 paths are present throughout all stages and will help the player mould their species to a path that suits their playstyle, as well as what they want their species to be represented as. The cell stage introduces players to the game's core mechanics and the concept of evolving through gameplay. It serves as a tutorial, teaching players the basics of Spore, while also laying the foundation for what lies ahead. It sets the tone for the entire game, emphasizing the importance of adaptation and evolution, which carries through to the later stages. While this stage serves as a tutorial, in terms of gameplay it's still rather plain, with a very repetitive goal throughout the entire stage of eat more to become bigger and evolve. This stage feels like a more fleshed out version of the old Flash game Feeding Frenzy, where you would eat smaller fish to become the bigger fish. Eventually, once your cell has accumulated enough DNA, you can then progress onto land into the creature stage. In the creature stage, players emerge from the water and explore the planet's surface. Here they take control of a land-dwelling creature and engage with other species. Players must forge relationships through social interactions, either through friendly gestures or aggressive behaviours. Again, the game focuses on the three main paths that you can take your species in. Do you befriend your neighbours using the social interactions of singing, dancing, charming and posing? Or do you wipe out entire species through ferocious combat and forcefully carve a path through the planet? Or you can use a combination of the two to maintain a balance once again. A highlight of the creature stage is the creature creator, which allows the players to design their unique organisms. The extensive customization options enable players to bring their wildest imaginations to life, with near limitless customization. The creature creator is a 3D extension of the previous creator tool, where instead of a 2D plane for the cell stage, you have a full 360-degree range to add and replace parts that you find out in the open world. You can discover new parts to improve and evolve your creature through either finding old bones littered throughout the planet, or through your interactions with other creatures, by allying or annihilating them. The creature stage focuses on fostering empathy and encouraging players to develop their creature's traits based on their interactions with the environment and other species. You'll find more advanced parts that improve your creature's traits throughout your exploration, to eventually growing and adapting to become the dominant creature on the planet, increasing your brain capacity as well as your physical capabilities. Much like the cell stage previously, this stage becomes rather repetitive, and while I think it's the best stage before you enter space, it still feels a little one-dimensional. You'll encounter certain random events that add a little flavours to the experience, such as a visit from alien vessels or meteor showers, but nothing that impactful. The sole goal is to eat and charm your way through the evolutionary ladder to eventually become an intelligent creature capable of forming a tribe, which takes you onto the next stage. Transitioning from the creature stage, players now control an entire tribe of their creatures. The gameplay shifts to real-time strategy, with the tribe gathering resources, building structures, and engaging in conflicts with rival tribes. Diplomacy becomes crucial in the tribal stage, as players can choose to form alliances, trade resources, or engage in tribal warfare. Successful integration of other tribes or domination paves the way to progress. Depending on the path you've chosen, you'll either have to hunt or gather your food in order to expand your tribal hold, by building new structures, adding more members to your tribe, and outfitting them in tribal attire. Rather than having you further customize your creature's physical traits with different body parts, the game replaces the creature creator with an outfitter that lets you add clothing options to your tribe. Each item will affect various traits now available to you in this stage, such as gathering, social, and combat skills. You'll unlock additional items of clothing the more you either ally or conquer opposing tribes. When it comes to your interaction with the other tribes around you, you can once again choose one of three paths of either harmony and allying, warfare and conquering, or a combination of both. Each path has specific buildings that will help you improve your capabilities in these areas. If you're following a more harmonious pathway, you'll construct instrument huts which make allying opposing tribes through social, musical interactions possible. Through the peaceful path, you'll be able to gift food to the tribes around you and peacefully impress them to join you. If instead you choose a more warmonger pathway, you'll be able to construct weapon huts and improve your combat abilities, allowing you to kill and destroy rival tribes. The tribal stage introduces resource management and strategic decision making, preparing players for the challenges in the next stage. Once you've either allied or destroyed the rival tribes around you, you'll then progress to the Civilisation Stage, further concentrating your power and taking you into a brand new editor. In the Civilization stage, you're presented with another new editor, allowing you to create your own buildings and architecture style for your species. This editor allows you to customize almost every feature you want to add to your capital building and subsequent housing, entertainment, and factory buildings afterwards. There's no gameplay element to this tool, and it's almost exclusively down to visual tastes. After creating your capital, players evolve their tribes into advanced civilizations. Immediately after evolving, you're then brought into yet another creator tool, this time for vehicles. Depending on how you played the previous stage, you'll either have to make ground-based vehicles for either religion, military, or trade capabilities. The gameplay further expands into city management and global diplomacy. Players can establish trade routes, engage in warfare, and achieve dominance on their planet. Depending on how you complete the tribal stage, you'll either have to unify the planet religiously, militarily, or through your economy. You'll also have to manage your civilization's economy through spice production. Here you'll claim and expand control over spice nodes all over the planet, using factory placement in your cities to increase your income. You'll also have to manage your city's happiness and housing in order to maintain order. The player's choices during the civilization stage directly impact their civilization's development. The cultural, military, or economic path shapes the society's future, and the traits you'll take into the final stage. Eventually, once you've unified the planet through whichever means suit your species, you'll then come to the final creator tool to be unlocked, the spacecraft editor. The space stage is the culmination of Spore, offering the ultimate sandbox experience. Players venture into space to explore, colonize, and interact with other alien races. The space stage is renowned for its vastness, featuring a mostly procedurally generated universe with countless planets to explore. The open-ended nature of the space stage provides players with an immense freedom and encourages creativity, making it probably the most fleshed out aspect of the game. In the space stage, players can follow a basic story set out to them, but overall the freedom is left open. You can expand your empire and colonize planets, claim new spice deposits and trade with other empires, terraform and create new life on previously uninhabitable planets, explore strange and new galactic formations. The possibilities left to the player are almost endless. Your civilization will offer you guiding missions to explore all these avenues, giving you a starting point for almost all of them, eventually leading to what could be considered the main objective of the space stage, the secrets of the center of the galaxy. Through your actions, you can guide your species to become the most dominant forces in the galaxy, possessing the powers to both create life or completely snuff it out. Even before its release, Spore received significant attention and generated immense hype due to its innovative concept and Will Wright's reputation as a game designer. Will Wright was known for his groundbreaking concepts and has had critical success with his earlier titles, including SimCity or The Sims. Throughout its development, Wright would demonstrate the tools and mechanics he had created for this game at various showcases, such as GDC or E3, exploring each feature and his vision for the project in great detail. However, following the release of Spore in 2008, while the game received generally positive reviews from the critics, it also faced some criticism, particularly in regards to the perceived simplification of gameplay mechanics in certain stages. Many of the features and tools Wright had talked about and demonstrated throughout the lead up to its release had either been drastically simplified or completely cut. Numerous stages that would take place in the evolutionary cycle and were showcased had also been removed, including the ocean stage and the city stage. Wright even coming out after Spore's release saying that the ocean stage would be integrated later through an expansion pack. However, no such pack ever came to market. Outside of the gameplay elements, another surge in controversy came from EA's inclusion of Secu-ROM DRM, which required online authentication every few days, otherwise locking the player out of the game. Additionally, the product key for the game had a 3 PC activation limit, but suffered from an issue where any hardware change on the same PC would use up an activation. Eventually, this led to players being either unable to reinstall or even use the game after changing hardware, and users would have to contact EA support, which had to consider reactivation on a case-by-case basis. All these problems led to Spore being one of the most pirated games on BitTorrent in 2008. Nevertheless, Spore was a commercial success, selling millions of copies worldwide and becoming one of the best-selling PC games of its time. And Spore still to this day has a very dedicated fanbase and modding community, implementing new parts, fixes and gameplay extensions to a game that's 15 years old. The game's concept of player-driven evolution and exploration inspired subsequent games, demonstrating the potential for ambitious and unconventional ideas. Many titles being developed today are considered spiritual successors to Spore, titles such as Elysian Eclipse, Thrive and Adapt. So it's a genre that needs further exploring and development. For me, Spore was something I spent so much time messing around with when I was younger. It was my first experience with something truly open and free, but also fun. To be able to make my own creations and make up their own story in my head led to many hours of just coming up with the craziest things to live on these planets, and to have them interact with each other was almost mind-blowing to me. But there's also a part of me that looks back on it now having played it again for the first time in some years, it feels almost empty. I watched the demonstrations from Will Wright and what he envisioned for the game, and then to have EA swoop in and simplify the snot out of it is sad to see. Spore had the potential to have some very complex but very fun mechanics in it, alongside way more options for the player to create what they really want to create. EA had the potential to release a truly influential set of tools and an open universe for players to unleash their creativity in. Instead, what we were presented with was a very lackluster, repetitive fraction of what Spore could have been. Thank you for watching. I'd like to take this opportunity at the end of this video to say thank you to everyone who helped me get to over 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, I never thought I would ever get to this point, but to see your reactions to everything I've put out there has been incredible. It's taken me some time to work out exactly what kind of content I both enjoy making, but also something I'd enjoy watching, and I appreciate every one of you that stuck with me, and I look forward to showing you all what I have in store for you. I'd also like to shout out my Twitch channel, where I plan on streaming more content, such as Baldur's Gate and Starfield when I can, in a more chilled out way. So if you are interested in showing your support over there, I'd really appreciate the follow. Another thing I'd like to mention are the memberships available on this channel. I have no expectation that anyone should join, especially on such a small channel. I have set the membership to £2 a month, so if you are interested in supporting my channel, there is that option open to you. Again, I have no expectation that anyone has to sign up to access anything exclusively, so I haven't configured it for early release or behind the scenes content. It's only set to members only community posts. However, if a large enough number of you are interested in exclusive content down the line, I will look into it. Anyway, thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please drop me a like and a sub if you want to see more content like this, and make sure to have your notifications on so you never miss a video. See you in the next one. Bye for now.